Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eric Bacher. I'll be your press conference moderator for the weekend. Welcome, and it's great to have everybody here. We're going to begin the press conferences with Boston College. And we have Coach Jerry York, Captain Teddy Doherty, and alternate Captain Steve Santini. We'll start out with an opening statement from Coach York, and then we'll direct questions for the players at this time. Coach, all you.
Thank you. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, too.
Hey, we're, as all teams should be at this point, we're extremely excited. A combination of pride in our season, anticipation of being at the Frozen Four. We were here in 12, and we were treated outstanding by everybody associated with the tournament, from the NCAA down to the Tampa Commission here, Sports Commission, hotels, everything. And so last time when we were on a flight coming down, we weren't quite sure how it would go in Tampa. But I thought, thinking back, it's probably one of the best Frozen Fours that I've attended, not just because we won that event, but just the way we were treated in the locale, the closeness of the hotels to the rink, the Lightning go out of the way to make this a special event for the four colleges. So with that anticipation, we're coming down this time. We understand just how good the field is. When you put those win-loss records up for four teams, it's clearly four well-deserved entries to the Frozen Four. A lot of respect for not only Quinnipiac, who we're going to play, but the Denver program and the North Dakota program. But again, genuine excitement from the Boston College community, staff, players, team, personnel, everybody coming down here on the flight.
Thanks a lot, Coach. At this time, we'll direct questions to the players. And we have a couple of mic holders, one on each side of the room. Please state your name and your media affiliation prior to each question, and we'll start. Okay, we'll start in the middle.
NHL.com and BruinsDaily.com. Jerry, the last several...
Bob, can you direct the questions to the players, please?
Sure. Well, let me start with Teddy then. The last several trips that BC has made to the Frozen Four and then the championship game, you've had, if you will, increasing success from the first 4 or 5 back in 2006 and 7. Maybe can you comment about maybe the transitions or what's going on in the program that's made you be able to get to the level where you're winning the championships as opposed to having competing for them?
Go ahead, Teddy.
Yeah, I think it's just guys every year filling it in and out and just competing hard every day in practice and getting better. There's no other reason for it. I think every team is different. Success in the early stage of the 2000s through now is just incredible, and we're just happy to be a part of that.
Okay, we'll take one in front.
Dave Hendrickson, U.S. College Hockey Online. This is for both of you. Can you just talk about how perhaps that third period against Duluth, where you had the 3-0 lead, appeared safe, and yet you really came very close to getting tied up at the end. Can you just talk about maybe some of the defensive lessons learned in that third period and just how you're perhaps taking those into this game?
Steve, we'll start with you on this one.
Well, Dave, I mean, first of all, I think that speaks to how competitive college hockey is. You have to play a 60-minute game complete to make sure that you're going to win. And, I think throughout the course of the season, we've learned a lot of lessons. And that game in particular really showed us, we can't let our guard down. And we got to make sure we're fully engaged for a full 60 minutes no matter what.
Teddy?
Yeah, well, Minnesota Duluth's a pretty good team, or else they wouldn't have gotten that far. And, that we kind of took our foot off the gas there a little bit, and they executed a few plays that, we'd like to have back. So I think this week we just focused on bearing down the defensive zone. We know how explosive Quinnipiac's offense is. So it's going to be a major factor in the game tomorrow. Make sure we play a full 60.
Okay, we'll take one on the right.
Kevin DuPont with the Boston Globe for both Teddy and Steve. At the NHL level, if we ask guys about when they first heard about the Stanley Cup, where were they in their lives? I'm wondering about Frozen Four. Where were you in your lives? What were you thinking about it? And also how that dovetailed with what upperclassmen, when you came to BC, were talking about.
Teddy.
Yeah, started watching the Frozen Four when I was very young. BC has always been my favorite team, so watching Coach York coach those teams in the early 2000s was something I was very interested in, and made me want to get to this point in my life, and just excited to do that.
And Steve.
Yeah, I mean, my dad played college hockey for the University of Maine. So as a young age, I was probably rooting for the Black Bears a little bit. But obviously, over the years, my allegiance has changed to Boston College. And kind of like what Teddy said, you know, a lot of with the exposure on ESPN and you know what NBC Sports and Buccigross has done to really spread the game. I think you know college hockey is really growing. It's becoming popular, and you know if you look at how many NHLers it's produced in the recent years, I think that's a reflection of you know how much this game is growing.
Questions for the student athletes? Okay, Jocko on the right.
Jocko Conley, Boston Herald. Teddy, I'm dovetailing Kevin's question. You have a connection with the 2001 team. Your Uncle Marty played on that club. Can you just talk a little bit about how this is sort of like a passing of the torch type thing, the legacy of being captain?
Yeah, watching that 2001 team win the national championship was really special to me. You know, I remember it was like yesterday, Chris Colano scoring the goal. It's probably one of the happiest moments of my life, and I wasn't even playing. Now that we're in the Frozen Four and I'm a senior, it's kind of like the path that he kind of took. So it's kind of a cool resemblance, and again, just happy to be here.
We'll take one in the back middle.
Gentlemen, just as far as
Hold on one sec. Just your name and media affiliation, please.
Chris Fisher, WTSP here in Tampa, CBS affiliate. As far as hockey in the Sunshine States, whether it's California or Florida, if you look at two student athletes on your team, whether it's Demko and Cangelosi, how much has the Sunshine States and the way hockey has changed? Have you seen players come in from there and affect the game?
Well, Chris, I mean, you know, you look at our roster, like you mentioned, we have Demko, Savage, and Cangelosi from your non-traditional states, such as Florida and California. And I think it speaks to kind of what we talked about earlier, how much the game is growing. You look at the U.S. national teams and, you know, the festival camps. There's players from California, you know, Florida, Texas, a bunch of different states that aren't your quote-unquote traditional hockey powers. And I think it's great for the game. I think it's great for the United States of America. And, you know, hopefully the game can continue to grow and will continue to be a dominant force around the world.
Thanks, Steve. We'll take one on the left.
Coach John Sable, ABC Action
Hold on.
News.
Do you have questions for the student athletes?
Oh, yes. Okay, well, when you look into this game and you see all the hard work that you guys have made throughout the season and you get there, is there ever a moment when, maybe it was today when you first get on the ice, just a wow moment that you made it here? And then if you have that moment, how do you almost try not to let that get overwhelming for you, especially if you haven't been in a stage like this?
Teddy.
Yeah, well, you know, it's cool stepping on the Tampa Bay ice for the first time, but both of us have been in this moment. We played in the Frozen Four in Philadelphia, so it's kind of a shock. Get used to it a little bit, and which is really cool to be here. Obviously, you can't take that for granted, but we've been here before, and we just gotta let our emotions just settle down and relay that to our team, and hopefully we do a good job with that.
Anything to add, Steve?
Yeah, just to piggyback off of Teddy's point, obviously it's an honor to be here. You know, there's 60 some odd great college hockey teams, and we're very lucky to be here. But just like the other three teams that are here, we want to win, and you know, every team wants to win and put on their best performance and play their best. And you know, if we play the best we can, we'll sleep at night and be happy with our trip.
A couple more questions for the student athletes. Take one on the right.
Jim Conley from U.S. College Hockey Online. Could you guys, each of you, maybe take us through what the first 24 hours has been like the last day?
Teddy, go ahead.
It's been really exciting. You know, you get down here and there's a big ceremony off the plane, and you get to the hotel and they got the fight song playing, and you know, you drop off your gear and you see the locker rooms and you know, just the whole stage is really cool, and you know, you kind of have some downtime to chill as a team. So it's been really cool. The practice was good today. Thought it was high tempo and good to get our feet under us, and now it's about preparing for Quinnipiac. We got about 24 hours to do so, we'll do a good job with that.
Steve, to the last 24 hours?
Yeah, it's very exciting. Obviously, the whole year you talk about going to Tampa, and you know, it's a big focus for every team, I think, particularly in Hockey East being such a deep conference that it is. So for us to make it here and you know, just to get off the plane, get to the hotel, and soak it all in, it's really special for us.
Okay, we'll take another one in front.
Kevin Dupont again for the Boston Globe. For both of you, if you would. With Hockey East, you see the teams so frequently, Northeastern and BC, and in many cases, I know you've played against these guys as you've grown up. here's a team you haven't played. I'm wondering, do you know some of those players individually, and what is it like for you now at this stage to play a team that you haven't played?
Teddy.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I feel like I know pretty much a guy on every team we play against, and with Quinnipiac, I can't say that I do, which makes it interesting, makes it fun. You know, not knowing that much about them other than on the film, we haven't seen what they're like on the ice yet. So that first period is going to be essential in the game tomorrow, and trying to match up with their intensity and their compete level and see what we can do.
Steve.
Yeah, I mean, on Quinnipiac, I know the Cliftons. I played with Connor out at the national team, and I played against Tim in the Empire and the EJ before I went out to the USHL. And I played against a couple other guys in the USHL. But besides that, kind of like what you said, it's a kind of an unknown opponent, and both teams I think are just be ready to go, and it'll be a fun game to watch.
Okay. Additional questions for the student athletes? Okay, take one in the middle and then one in the front.
Mike Macknick, College Hockey News. Guys, as you guys get ready for this game and look at where you are at this point in your season and what you guys need to do to be successful tomorrow, what are the focuses there?
Go ahead, Teddy.
Yeah, it's just staying with what you've been doing all year. We don't prepare for Quinnipiac any different than we prepared for any other game. I know this game's a little bigger stage, but just do what we've been doing all year, and that'll take care of itself. We know how good they are. 3 losses is very impressive. That's a great season, and hopefully we can knock them off tomorrow.
Yeah, Quinnipiac's a great team for a reason. They got a lot of playmakers and a lot of good players, so we just want to compete hard and play the best we can, and hopefully, that'll be good enough.
Okay. Thanks, Steve. We'll take one in front, and then the last one for the student athletes in the back.
Dave Hendrickson again for both of you. Can you just talk about how your team can kind of win in a lot of different ways? There are some teams that if they fall behind, there's no way they're going to catch up. They just don't have that ability. You guys have the offensive firepower. You can win a high-scoring game or a low-scoring game. Can you just talk about that?
Teddy.
Yep. That's just the way we were built this year. Every team is different, like I said earlier, but this team, we can score at will. We can score at any time during the game. We can score in the power play. We can kill penalties, and Thatcher can steal games. So with that, it's just we got to, after the first period, regroup and see how we're going to win the game. And I think we've been doing a good job of that.
Thanks, Teddy. Steve?
Yeah, I think you look at all the teams here. I think there's very good goaltending, good defense, good forwards. So I think all 4 teams have different ways they can win. And, to be successful at this point in the season, that's what you need. And that's something we tip our hat on. We're proud of.
Okay. Last question in the back.
WTSP. As far as the program goes, is there a mentality and a priority placed on just the term trophies or winning trophies, whether it's the Beanpot or obviously here at the Frozen Four?
Steve, you want that one?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Coach York is all about the team. He's so enthusiastic and passionate, and everything he preaches is for the team. Whether it's winning a trophy or winning a regular season game in November, it's all about the team. It's all about winning, and that's the type of character guys that he recruits and he wants in this program. So I think every guy's on the same page. Everyone wants to win, and they're going to put the team above themselves.
Okay, thanks, guys. We will take questions for Coach York. We'll start in the middle with Bob.
Jerry Bob Snow, NHL.com and BruinsDaily.com. Can you maybe comment the same question that we had for Teddy and Steve? Since '98, the first several trips to this stage weren't quite as successful, and then the last several have been quite successful. What was the transition piece, or what made this become more of a winning formula the last 6 or 8 years?
I just think with that particular group that won in '01 in Albany, they've gone 4 straight years in the Frozen Four, and it's a big stage. It's a lot of lights, and I think the more you're there, the better chance you have to be successful. Bowling Green went 1 year, we won it once. I thought, hey, this is going to be easy. Then it went 20 years before we got back, and then we had to go through some painful losses. Michigan '98 OT, and still remember Jamie O'Leary hitting the crossbar in overtime, which would have won it for us. But I think the more you're into high-pressure situations, some of us are a golfer, 1-stroke lead going into 17 and 18 at Augusta. Can you withstand the pressure and just get power in and win the game? So I think it's the more you're involved in those type of situations, you get a little calmer, or you handle the stress better, and it's a carryover from years to years and going through. So I think the first one's the most difficult, and then the longer you're in this thing, as teams, you get better. You know what was successful, what wasn't successful. What's successful is get a lot of good players. I know that.
Okay, we got one in the back right.
Nathan Wells, SB Nation College Hockey. Coach, Alex Tuck has come on in the second half, culminating with 2 goals against Harvard. What has he meant for the team, and what have you seen from his development?
Well, I think he's first half of the year was very average for Alex. Just wasn't involved in the game, wasn't on the puck, wasn't a physical presence. And right around the New Year's, he just started to come on strong. And the last month, 2 months, he's been just outstanding for us. He's not circling. He's playing through people. He's a very strong, powerful forward now for us. One of the reasons we're here.
Okay, take one in front and then to the right. Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
Dave Hendrickson, U.S. College Hockey Online. I'm asking you kind of the same question I asked before about the Duluth game and maybe some of the abilities that you can go and use those lessons learned in terms of those final minutes and how that maybe, in a certain sense, might help you catch the players' attention in terms of maintaining focus and pedal to the metal.
You know, Dave, winning's hard. We're never going to, go through a year winning 5-0, 6-0. The opponents are too good. The players are too good on the teams. The coaches are too good. It's hard to win. And Duluth they was as good a club as we played all year. I thought they were outstanding. It's 60 minutes. They came on strong at the end, and we had a little puck luck with 6 seconds left. I think Boston just knocked the puck off the goal mouth crease, but they're good. I mean, the teams are, we've got to play well all the time to be involved in moving on. Win in advance, and that was one of those win in advance situations. But we don't dwell on the last 3 minutes or the first 3 minutes of the game. But here's how we played over the 60 minutes and kind of broke down, and some pluses and minuses in that game for us. But certainly the quality of the opposition determines, how well you play. I'd love to play 60 minutes of flawless hockey, but the other teams don't let you do that.
Kevin.
Kevin DuPont, Boston Globe. Jerry, if you went back and looked at the 11 other times you came in terms of your personal preparation, be it notes or if you could actually have tapes of what you said to your teams over those 11 times, how has your message evolved? I assume it's tailored somewhat to the talent, but how has your message evolved?
Yeah, I think it's more experience. I think I'm more prepared now as we go into these Frozen Fours. And I referred way back in, I remember '84 when we won the championship. Bob Johnson's son was my graduate assistant, and I got a call from Bob the next day, and he said, "Jerry, what do you think's the best thing that just happened to you? As you look over the next few months?" And I said, "Bob, we're going to go to the parades. Hopefully, go to the White House. A lot of, accolades are going to come to our players and our school." He says, "No, the best thing is that you have a blueprint. Go back and think about what you did there. Why was your team successful, and that'll help you win other events." So I thought every time we've played in the Frozen Four, try to analyze and look at it and say, why weren't we successful in Philadelphia? If we had 6 more seconds left, maybe we could draw scores to goal, and it sends us to the championship game. But I think we try to learn from it, and all of that, the travel, the preparation, the 2 weeks prior to from the NCAA selection show to the opening of the Frozen Four, how do we handle that? So I think I've evolved as a coach, and I think I'm clearly better now than I was when I first started.
Okay. Neil.
Spartans.com. Hello, Jerry. Jerry,
Nice to see you, Neil.
what is it about coaching that has kept you in the game so long and continue to do it year after year? And have you ever put a timeline on just how long you want to keep this thing going?
I've always thought that, if you like your profession, you're going to stay in it. Whether you're a sports writer, whether you're, run a local deli, if you like it, you're going to stay longer in it. People become lawyers and leave after 3 years because they're, I don't really like the profession, or school teachers that say that, hey, this is, it's not my cup of tea. They move to a different. So there's a lot of people that I know that have switched occupations. Nothing wrong with that, but once they find something they like, they're going to stay in it. I've found something I like. I enjoy the whole gamut from A through Z that's involved with coaching, and so I enjoy going. And how old is Red now? All right, yeah. I got to catch Red,
Take one in the back middle.
Coach Paul Ryan, WFLA, the NBC affiliate here in Tampa. I think a lot of Lightning fans will recognize Austin Cangelosi as a guy that looks and maybe plays a lot like Martin St. Louis. One, what kind of game does he have? And two, how important is he to your success here in the Frozen Four?
He's a small in stature, but he's got a big heart. Plays very physical for a small guy. He's got tons of energy. A terrific teammate. Goal scorer, kills penalties for us. I think he's going to be a key factor whether we can advance past Quinnipiac and get a chance to play for the trophy. Outstanding player.
Chris.
Yeah, Chris, WTSP, Chris Fisher. Just as far as the question I asked the student athletes, how have you seen the game evolve over the years in the warm weather states, whether it's California or Florida, and players like Austin Cangelosi?
We think we're a sunshine state, Massachusetts, so last few days up there has been pretty hard. I think it's just getting bigger and better all throughout the country. I think TV's part of it, but the expansion of the NHL, when the Kings are, had the Triple Crown line, it was exciting. Kids who want to grow up and become, hockey players. The success the Ducks have had, the success the Lightning have had, the way the Florida Panthers are playing this year. I think it's, clearly connected with the expansion of the NHL. So you're not growing up now thinking you can be next John Elway all the time. If you live in an area that has an NHL team, you're thinking about being maybe a Coyote in Arizona.
Okay. Take one on the right.
Jeff Cox with SB Nation College Hockey. Coach, you've had Casey Fitzgerald with Ian McCoshen almost all season. What have you seen in his learning curve, and what do you think has improved of his game as he's gotten as much minutes as he has as a freshman?
I think that's pretty key because Ian's been a terrific mentor for Casey. He's a junior, or he's been through the wars. He's kind of nurtured Casey coming in. I think Casey was kind of a little bit under-recruited. He played for the NDTP, and I think there was 5 or 6 defensemen that were statistically rated ahead of him. But we saw something in Casey when he played at Malden Catholic that we really thought would be a special player. And I think he's gone through the NDTP, and he's kind of learned some lessons. But now it's coming to fruition what we thought we saw at Malden Catholic. A dynamic skater, very intelligent player hockey-wise, and competitor level off the charts. So Casey is, I think he's really coming onto his own this year, and Ian's helped him in that.
Okay. Take one on the back left.
Coach John Sable, WFTS ABC here in Tampa. Your team's going to be playing on the same ice as one of your former players who now plays in the Lightning, Brian Boyle. Went with you 3 times to the Frozen Four. What kind of memories do you have of Brian, and when you think of him, what kind of memories do pop up, and what has he meant to your program?
He was certainly a key player for 4 years. He was at BC. I like the fact that he stayed 4 years, got his degree, and now is well into a fine career at the NHL level. He called this week and he said, I'm going to leave a package of swag for our equipment manager, John Hegarty. And sure enough, when we came, Ron had something for him, a hat and T-shirt and stuff. And, he had just a message to tell our players that he's rooting for us. And so I have fond memories of Brian.
We'll take one on the right. Jim?
Jim Conley from USCHO. In this modern day of the Frozen Four, it's hard to get back to cities quickly, and we're 4 years removed from being here in Tampa. You were here back then, obviously, have the championship is a good memory, but everything else that went along with it. What makes this city and the way they host this event special?
You know, I just think the way the Lightning have embraced it, they've really helped in a lot of different ways with locker rooms, access to their. Of course, their our number one seed always gets the top, so they gave their dressing room up to the college team. I think Jeff Finnick and Steve Eisman both really commit and support the Frozen Four. I think the city as a whole, it's you know, you go around town and you see a lot of Frozen Four banners, and the hotels are really actively involved in welcoming us. So I think it's a terrific city. As there are some other great venues. I think the Boston Garden does a pretty good job too. You know, but this is certainly the weather becomes such a factor. Very positive factor.
Thanks, Coach. Additional questions, Kevin?
Jerry, at what point this year did you say to yourself, okay, my team gets it? And also, have you ever arrived here wondering if your team gets it?
You know, I was thinking the other day, someone had asked me that question just at a restaurant one night, and so I had to think back. And we lost down here in Florida at a Christmas tournament, and of all times coming back on the plane, I was thinking, hey, this could be a team that's going to be very, very special as the year progresses. Now that's coming off a loss to a very good Providence team. But I thought at that point, I thought we have something that we can build on and get better at. You know, we weathered some storms there with injuries. We lost actually a goaltender, a freshman goaltender for the whole year with concussion. We lost Brendan Silk with a nerve damage to his shoulder. So two of our players that we counted on early in the season were lost. So people stepped up, and I thought did a nice job in that regard. But it's a pretty good club. Now, to win it, you got to be an outstanding team, and so I'm hoping that we can make that one more step to become an outstanding team. I think this particular team has a pretty good feel for what's in front of them because they haven't played in 14. You know, they know how difficult it is. But I probably had some early teams that, you know, just went to Frozen Four were kind of, you know, kind of in shell shock almost the whole. But I think this team is, even though we only have two seniors that play tomorrow night, we've got some upperclassmen that handle the situation. But it's something we welcome. We don't feel there's pressure on it, but you have to get used to the expanded role the media plays, the building, the TV, and I think our Hockey East prepares us for that.
Thanks, Coach. Additional questions for Coach York? All right, we'll take one here. Dave? Right in front.
My stomach's growling, Dave, so I gotta...
Okay, I'll try to be quick. Dave Hendrickson again. Just can you just talk about your team's ability to either come back or hold on to leads, you know, win higher scoring games, lower scoring games, and what would your preference be in against Quinnipiac?
You know, I score one more goal in the queue, but I think that you know, you're gonna be in those situations during the course. So we played almost 40 games now, so you're gonna be early leads. You're gonna be early deficits. You're gonna have swings of momentum, and I think you just gotta be able to handle it. You know, mentally. I think mental strength is so important in all sports, but especially at this level. So you could be down 3-1, and you can come back and win. You could be ahead 4-1, and you can almost lose a game because your attitude, hey, we've won the game, and all of a sudden the team comes strong. So the mental strength you have, it's going to play for 60 minutes, and you know, despite the you know, the way the momentum you have shifts back and forth, you have to stay on an even keel. So, you know, 1-0 deficit really doesn't mean you're going to lose a game, and I've seen 3-goal leads switch so you can win a game. So I think it's more, hey, let's play through the 60 and give it our best honest shot.
Okay. All right, thanks a lot, Coach York.
You're welcome.
We'll be joined by Quinnipiac at 1:30.